If you hadn't done what you've now done, would you be alive right now?
No.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been alive.
G'day, I'm Rabbit. I record this podcast inside a cute little retro caravan from 1967 that I tow around all over the place.
Fan Podcast with Rabbit.
I got an email just recently, it was just this week actually, from a couple that have been following the pod van. Actually, we have history going right back to when I was on the radio with Julie, and they said, we'd like to come on and tell you a bit about our story. Now, usually when I get those, they're crazy people, and these ones were as well. And so, but my kind of crazy. Jon and Nick, hi you guys.
Hey, Rabbit.
There's a lot of history, which is funny to hear, between us, but I wanted to start with a super dramatic question because I've seen, yeah, and it's to you, because I've seen an hour-long interview with you on YouTube, and my question for you is, if you hadn't done what you've now done, would you be alive right now?
No.
Yeah.
No. No. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been alive. No.
And that's all we've got time for today.
No. I can honestly say our journey in the last 16 months would have ended not in a very positive way.
And you both were kind of accepting of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, you got to that point.
Yeah.
So we'll go through all of that and what's happened. It's a crazy story. But before we do, what's the history between us? So you guys used to listen on the radio.
Yeah.
You actually listened to the... I think you said that you listened to the podcast on the job site?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm a carpenter by trade. We actually spoke on the phone on the radio because you were talking about carpentry and how you like doing DIY and all that sort of stuff. I was made redundant back in 2018 from an IT job of 20 plus years. Couldn't get another job in that industry.
Really?
Yeah, it was just time of year. It was November, so it was right before Christmas. I don't know if that was it or what. But Nicky was running a interior design business as well as a hair salon. So we had other sort of building jobs going. And I started working with the carpenter on the weekends. And then Nicky just sort of said to me, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, why don't I just do carpentry? So I went and got an apprenticeship with a builder, had a huge pay cut for the 3 years that it took to do that. And then here I am now running my own business, doing carpentry and loving it. So
we were talking outside the pod van just before jumping in about how the things come along that at the time are so horrible. And then you can look back and it's actually the best thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like you said, I mean, when I was made redundant, I on the phone to Nicky, like you, bawling my eyes out, like, just what do I do?
Yeah.
Like, I was the main money earner at the time.
Yeah.
That sort of
and
thing.
to hear your husband, so heartbroken and lost, and it was sad to hear his voice that way. And I just thought, no, we're not going to let this situation bring us down ever, because he worked hard and he was good at what he did. But as I said to him, it was a long time as well where he wasn't happy in the job. And he just kept going in, grinding it like everybody does. They go to work, they grind and get through their day the best way they can.
Yeah.
Being the other person, still working, I had my businesses, and I was lucky to be able to say, I was in a successful business. Come on, I don't care what you do. I just want to be here. I want to love you, and we're going to get through this no matter what.
I found while watching this interview with you guys on YouTube, there's so many similarities between you two and Sav and I.
Yeah.
And there was a moment where, I don't know if you've heard, I have spoken about it, I think, over in, it was in another city, when I had a feeling that I was going to get that meeting. Every 2 years your contract's up in radio, and it's never a given.
No.
And I tell that to people and they're like, if the ratings are going great and everything's going good, then why would they? But seen it happen so many times.
Yeah.
And that was a big shock when that happened to you.
It was a
'cause,
massive
you were
shock.
number one, number one.
And
that's-
to be followers of, Rabbit and Julie in the morning, you'd wake up, at 5:30. You knew it was going to come on in the radio, like the morning radio show, and it was exciting to hear it. But then all of a
funny, it was
sudden, and it was funny, it was a good way to start your day. It was great. But to hear it end, we were sad. It was sadness for you. It was sadness for the listeners. But it was an understanding of we knew what you were feeling because we had lived a situation similar. But to have that morning finish, it didn't feel right. And you were wondering, where's Rabbit gone? Like, where has Rabbit gone? Because Rabbit was a start of your day. He made you smile and laugh. So it was a really good feeling.
That was a big thing that was, I've talked all about my anxiety and everything and my mental health stuff. That was a horrible time for me.
Yes.
But one of the toughest things through that was I wasn't allowed to tell anybody what I was doing. For starters, I didn't know what I was going to be doing. But then once I started formulating this plan, which really, when I look back at it and I look at the photos, I mean, it's no surprise. I don't muck around. No. I think I finished on air on the 9th of December.
It was the first week.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't even gotten into Christmas. And I'm like, where's he gone?
Yeah, well, I was driving down to Melbourne to go and pick up this little caravan.
Unreal.
I had the pod van back before Christmas.
Yeah, right.
And started working on it up on the street. And again, but couldn't talk about what I was going to be doing. Couldn't be saying I was going into podcasting or anything. Just too scared of, I don't know if anything would be done or anything. But
you were
there was
an honest
money on the
person.
line.
You lived like an honest world. You were honest within yourself and you abided by rules. So you didn't want to say
I was just more scared of them taking my money. I had long service leave and holidays to be paid out still.
We need that.
Haven't got that yet.
That's for the pod van.
And I knew I was going from the paycheck on December 15th to nothing. For the next one. And
it's tough.
Yeah. And it is tough.
Yeah. And, like you said, I've had so many people come up to me around that time saying that they knew exactly what I was going through because they had gone through the same thing as well. The graphic designer who designed the Podvan logo from Archangel Design, he'd been through the exact same thing with a business.
I remember you talking about it in one of your podcasts.
Yeah, so many. It's happened to so many people, and if it hasn't happened to you, you can't understand it.
No.
Because it's more than just the job. Like where it was for me was my identity.
Yeah. Everybody knew Rabbit. Everyone knew Rabbit and Julie.
But radio was your life, really.
Radio was my life.
Yeah.
That was my entire career, over 30 years of being on the radio. And that moment where I realised all the other brekkie shows had named what they were doing in the market. And that meant we'd have to move. We've moved 18 times, something like that. I can't remember the total now.
Yeah.
But I knew that we weren't going to be moving again. And so... Is that the end of radio?
That's the thing too. As a listener, which you probably don't quite hear or understand too, we knew, like the listeners, that you'd purchased a house. You were doing things on the house. The 2 kids were at school. Sav had her job. Like you came home, you cooked, you did, you laughed. You had this connection with your family on the coast.
Yeah.
So people lived your life through radio as well as through Rabbit and Julie. And when it just disappeared, I could not fathom how harsh your emotions on your family and your lifestyle would have been, how you felt. There's no answer to that. And nobody knows these situations, or nobody can even tell you shouldn't be anxious or you shouldn't be depressed. I'm going to say that word, or flat or lost, because you don't have the answers to what's next. What am I going to do? And how am I going to feel worthy of keep going to support my family?
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't know at that time. And I'm a very positive person. Yeah. My sister always says, you're a jammy bastard. Like, everything just works out. I'm like, well, I could choose to look at so many things, like when I move to a new market, to a new station or whatever, I just make the most of it and go, this is great, and I don't focus on the bad. There's always bad things.
There is. But you've got to focus on the positive.
Yeah.
At that time, totally different.
Yeah. Oh, so the thing I was going to say about how you're so similar with what you said, John, was when in this other city when I had the feeling the thing was coming with the radio station, and I was really upset over it because I didn't know what was going to be next. Just had a baby. And Sav said to me, I loved you when you earned $21,000 a year, and I will again. It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
Yeah.
As long
And
as
then
we're together.
She said, I'll never forget the line. She said, if you want to go in there tomorrow and tell them to shove it up their ass,
Yep.
go for
Go,
it.
Sav.
And all of the pressure
Yep.
came off the shoulders
Yep.
because it was just like,
You don't
Okay.
want to let your partner down.
Yeah. It's very similar, actually.
It's
Really?
so similar.
Because Nicky said to me the same thing. If you want to tell him to,
Go in there and tell him to shove that up your hello.
yeah, she said go for it.
You go for
So,
it. Because
Yeah.
there's nothing we can't get through. There's nothing.
don't you just feel the weight come off the
Oh, yeah.
shoulders then
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well? It's
Yeah.
like you kind of feel like, okay, well, I've got to pass through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love, when you find that person though, and you can be yourself
Yeah.
and laugh, really laugh. When I talk
Cry,
about
laugh.
belly laugh and cry and be vulnerable and have your weakest moments and they don't judge you
Yeah.
and they just love you.
Look
You'll
at
get
you
through
two
anything.
holding hands in here.
Sorry.
I think you're the first couple that's held hands in the pod van. And you've been together since high school. Or
Yeah.
you knew each other from 13?
Yeah,
Did
we
you
went
get
to
together in high school?
No.
Nicky,
Oh, really?
Nicky had just left to start her apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I was
Yeah.
in year 10,
yeah.
and Nicky was starting her apprenticeship when we first.
We finished year 10.
Oh, year 11.
Started year 11,
Year 11,
and I started
yeah.
my apprenticeship. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But always friends at school, same group of people,
Yeah.
just growing together through high school. Like John's sister was one of my closest friends, but I always had like a bit of a connection to John. We just got on.
We all had the same friends, so
Yeah.
even though after we broke up after that,
Yeah.
we all went to the same parties, still
Yeah.
sort of kept in
Because
contact.
we were together after school,
Yeah.
and then we broke up after a year and a half, and we just went our own way, but stayed friends. And he was with somebody, I'd be single. I was with somebody, he was single. And it
Yeah.
was literally like this lifestyle. We were leaving, passing ships in the night.
Until what age?
21.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And then it was just like, bang.
yeah. Just we were both
Single.
and
Yeah.
And I actually
It's
turned
like
up.
a rom-com.
you,
Yeah.
you came back from a Take That concert.
I did. Take that.
We were living at Homebush. I was
Yeah.
living at Homebush with
Yeah,
a house full of other guys. So
Yeah.
5-bedroom house, 5 guys. You can imagine what it was like.
Yeah.
Nicky's come back dropping a cousin of one of the mates off from the Take That concert, and we just sort of started talking again and haven't looked back since,
Have a
really.
look back.
Yeah. So I've been sitting here thinking, am I going to chop all of this out?
not really talking about what we came on for, but
We first started going, if you hadn't done what you'd done, would you be alive today? No.
No.
Anyway, let's have some laughs. And
Well, that was so serious. Let's bring some laughter into this.
I was thinking at one point through there, someone sitting there going,
Yeah.
the-
what about the first bit? And I have been sitting there thinking, am I going to chop this out and put this as a separate section or something? But no, I think
No.
where we go from here,
Yeah.
now we all know you guys. You know, we know what
Well,
you've
to
been
be
through.
honest, that answer that I gave you, no, I would not be here today, has a lot to do with that little story you just heard. Because without that story and the love that we have and the respect that we have for each other and the positive thoughts that we now have towards life, I wouldn't be sitting here alive. I would not have that.
And stories like yours, watching that whole hour-long chat this morning, then I come and sit in here and we start talking about, you know, when I lost my job on the radio and
Yeah.
that. I can look
But-
back on that and go, that's nothing when you hear what you've been through.
I don't believe, Robert, this is honestly from my heart, I don't believe anybody's situation in life is worse than anybody else's. I actually believe with all my heart that most people have a degree of heartache and they go through a lot of things. It's just what they can tolerate, and there should be no level of what people should be judged at. You should go
Everyone
and
handles
basically
things
handle life the way you can handle it. And nobody should be judged for that. It doesn't matter if you've been through what we've been through or what you've been through. I think we all go through our own heartaches. Nobody should be judged.
I did an episode with ex-paramedic Adrian David
Yes.
just recently, and he said that thing, and he hears it all the time, of people going, oh, you know, women will say, "Thank God my husband was home," because when something has happened, it's because I wouldn't have been able to do whatever the thing was in this emergency. And he's like, "But you would have." You know,
You do,
yeah.
You do.
And that's the thing. You deal with things when you need to.
That's right.
Whatever comes along in your life,
Yeah.
you deal with that.
Yeah.
It may not be the same as someone
Everybody else,
else's.
that's right.
So the second thing that I was going to say to you after my opening statement
Okay.
was, now this interview will not be like your other one.
Thank God.
So I had a timer. I didn't have a timer running on it, but I was well aware while watching you talk to Dave Mack.
Yeah.
And it was 28 minutes before he said anything.
Yeah.
That's his style. He
Is it?
he just lets you tell your story.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you have a less responsive person, he'll jump in and prompt with questions and stuff. But generally, it's letting the person tell their story.
So that's his thing.
That's his thing,
because
yeah.
I was watching this just going, I mean, first off, mad respect to him
Amazing,
to
man.
be able to sit in the silence
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just go with that. I was in awe of the two of you talking for 28 minutes about this, not prompted with questions or anything. Makes a little more sense now that you know that's his style.
Yeah.
You just get on and you tell your story.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was going to be my note. Was it's not quite going to be like that one. But I have asked my wife to watch your whole video because I was just blown away by the whole thing. I think if you go straight into it saying what you're doing with your lifestyle, I don't know. Is that a thing where some people can look at you a bit like,
You're crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a nutter.
Yeah.
a couple of nutters?
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. It's
Are you
also
serious?
why I wanted to establish they're not. They're really not.
No. But it's hard to comprehend what we do because people, they just think, what? They're doing that to get that outcome.
Yeah.
And in such a short time compared to the long story that we had that came behind it.
Yeah.
How can it work? But it does work. And
And that's all the time we've got for today. Just keep finding the worst time to end these. I love that you've joined me on my cryptic journey. You're like, oh, okay, we're
Awesome.
not telling people.
until the next episode.
This is going to go for 4 hours. I'm going to run out of space. We never found out what the thing was.
So,
Where do we even start?
well, basically, I guess it comes back down to John and I are carnivores. That's it.
There you go.
It comes
That's
back down
funny.
to
We'll finish it there.
and see you later. But no, we eat the carnivore way. But with that, we found carnivore due to the fact that I have had in the past, I'm going to rephrase that, cancer. And
Yeah, but let's go back through
the journey.
all of it.
Yeah, it started like
16?
I was 16, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was that?
My cancer.
Yeah, what?
I had found, again, in the uteral area, they'd found cancerous cells in my uterus when I was 16. They'd removed them operable, not having to have any treatment and so forth. So that was very good. And then it was again at 19, I had the second bout, again, the same area, kept attacking my uterus and basically growing, little tumours that just kept coming up and contained, which was great. And then they removed them. And still just operable, which was fantastic. Great. In that time period, I'd had an amount of surgeries that I'd had to remove everything, had damaged that area. So I was not able to have children. And they told me that I would never carry a child.
What age is this? This is around 19.
19. Yeah.
So
19 to 20.
You get back together at 21.
21. He knew all this because John came and saw me
Sorry,
in the
hospital.
hospital.
She was-
Oh, really?
Yeah. So every time I went in at 16 and John came and saw me then, the first time I was diagnosed with, my mum was there, my sisters, and he thought it was great because I was on all this pain relief
was off the shots.
medication. I'm like, nut. And he was like, just ask all these questions. I found out. But he saw the journey from the beginning and growing together and being kids and then going into this state of mind where, okay, I can't have children. And still at 21, I trying very hard not to get emotional, okay? Because I tend to get the tears drop every now and then, so I'm very sorry. I know you can now.
Yeah, I know. Watch
You
out.
can get the tears happening these days too, Rab. So, but the thing is that I admired him even more at the fact that when we did get back together, like, because we were together as kids and then we broke up and then we got back together at 21, he still wanted to be with me and I couldn't have children. And I was just in awe of how much he really cared for me and loved me. For a woman to have a strong man, that's powerful. And he was this gentleman, like he was beautiful, kind, loving, and just saw me. I was blessed, instantly blessed. But we were together and we got married and it was great. And then we had our first child. I fell pregnant and I was utterly gobsmacked to the point where it's a funny story in the beginning, because when I found out I was pregnant, I rang Jon.
I said, you can't be.
You can't be.
You're not supposed to be.
But I said to him, I've got to tell you, I'm pregnant. And he goes, what? And then he said, hold on a minute, say again. I said, I'm pregnant. And he goes, you can't be. You can't be pregnant. I said, well, I'm pregnant. Do I need to tell you how it happened? Because it's like, I'm pregnant. And he was like, oh my God. It was amazing. I was in disbelief. So was he. And then the pregnancy went on and it was not a successful pregnancy. Second trimester, we lost our daughter. So I'd given birth to our first daughter and she didn't make it. And then
That was hard. That was very hard for you.
That was very hard for me. I went quite into a pit of despair because I'd felt like I'd let him down. I gave him a glimpse of hope for our marriage, and giving him a child would have been like the icing on the cake.
Isn't it funny how you say, I felt like I'd let him down? There's no way he would think that. And anyone else outside of your mind would go, that's silly. You're not letting anyone down.
No. But as a woman, and you love this person so much, you want to give him the gift of life. Like, you want to see half of him and half of me walking around on this earth, as crazy as it is, but you still want that. You want to see that.
Yeah.
And then we went on to, talking about it, and I said, no, I don't know if I could go again. It really did my head in. I actually went into quite a depressive state, and I'm a very, very positive person. Very.
Don't think we were married at that point, were we?
I don't know. We were engaged to be married.
Yeah, I brought the wedding forward because obviously that was quite a hard time.
Yeah.
So I said to her, well, let's get married. Let's have something positive.
Yeah. And I was like, no, I don't want to get married. I don't want to be with you. I don't want us anymore. And
really?
Yeah. I said, it's time to walk away.
Pretty dark again, yeah.
Yeah. I said, you need to have more in your life. You deserve more. Like, you deserve way more. So I'm going to let you go. I love you that much. I want you to go and find it.
There's kind of a lot of back history, and I know with your podcast, you talk about mental health and all that sort of stuff. There's a lot more to Nicky's story before as well, with the father and that sort of stuff. And that kind of is why she's like, you deserve more, I'm not good enough, that sort of thing. That's from that. So,
I mean, that episode I did with Heather recently, where she talks about your childhood trauma, becomes your adulthood trauma, with everything and every way, every part of who we are as adults was shaped from something. And that can be positive as well.
Yes,
positive and negative. The way you react in situations is a result of
post-traumatic stress.
Well, just everything that's happened to you in your life shapes you and the way you react to things.
And I actually live by that motto, that what breaks you makes you. That's my motto. What breaks you will make you a better person. And I always believed, even though my past tense, because I came from a divorced family, I came from, a father who wasn't understanding. He just did not comprehend how people's emotions and feelings were. I just lived with that. I carried that like it was my fault that he was this way. And so did my sisters and so forth. But the thing is that I didn't want him to be let down, and that did come back from my past and so forth. But he was the stronger man and the stronger person in our relationship, brought our wedding forward with the help of my mum. And they just did it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to get married.
You're still saying no.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I don't want this. I don't want this. But he was like, tough. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. So you're going to have to put up with me.
Wow.
So he pushed me through this dark time. And again, he had my back and he pushed me through and off we went. We got married and it was wonderful. Like, it was
What
good.
age is this?
23.
23.
23 we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after the wedding, everything's going great.
Yeah. And then
Still hard for her. I wanted another kid. I wanted to try again.
and I didn't want children.
And she wasn't quite there yet. But I just persisted.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It was really hard to the loss, like of our daughter. It took my heart, like it broke me, and I've never been broken. I'd never been broken, but like your child is. Yeah, it's horrible.
hard.
It's really hard, and to see her, and then you hold her, and she's gone. You go, okay, like,
yeah.
what am I here for?
Another thing from the episode with Adrian, he was saying that because he's got PTSD, and he said that trauma doesn't know dates. It doesn't get any easier.
No, I've had so many other things since then I've had to battle through and deal with and made me stronger. It basically, what it did, it just kept me going and made me forget. But there's times in my life where it comes up and then all of a sudden it just...
Yeah.
And you just have to ride the roller coaster. You have to.
Okay, so cancer doesn't just like disappear.
No, it doesn't. No. So mine is a blood cancer, and basically it just creeps through the body, and all of a sudden, bang, off it goes. But I had a susceptibility to that area being weak, and that's where it just kept coming up. So I'd had endometriosis, I'd had polycystic ovary syndrome, and I just had a weakness in that area, but it came up and there was all these little tiny tumours, but they never sort of went away. They stayed sort of dormant, if you would want to say it that way. It's the best way to explain it for people that you don't understand. So after we got married, John really wanted a baby. So I was like, okay, I need to look into this and I need to step up and let's have a baby and get my head around, it's okay, we can do this together.
And once she made that decision, 2 weeks later, she was pregnant.
Well, I had my I had a reconstruction. I had
Didn't get to try for very long.
I had a reconstructive, a uteral reconstruction prior to
That's right,
that
yeah.
2 week happiness that John just explained. And that was
2 weeks of happiness.
and it worked. And my doctor was really happy with it. And he was like, don't worry about it. Just everything's repaired, everything's good, you've healed well. This was like a year on. So I let my body sort of recoup. And then we feel pregnant with our daughter, who is here today with us. So she's 26 on Friday this week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We had Ariane. And
Beautiful name.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Never heard that name.
Yeah,
Ariana, of course, but never
Yes.
Ariana.
No, I do love my girls' names. I live and breathe that. I love their names so much.
Cayenne was our first
Cayenne
daughter.
was our first daughter.
Right.
And Ariane is our daughter,
Yeah.
like today here on this earth. So that was great.
But she was premature.
She was preemie. So I fell pregnant, all good, 11 weeks. I thought, this doesn't feel right. Went to the doctors and he's like, you're starting to dilate. You're going to miscarriage.
11 weeks.
Yeah, I was starting to have a miscarriage. And he was like, no. So we've been through too much to get to this point. Into surgery I went. They basically did a suture stitch to keep my uterus closed through the cervix. Yeah, so they closed the cervix. So you can't
Close the
deliver.
door.
Close the door.
You're not coming out.
You're staying in there.
Yeah, you're staying in there and you're baking away, baby.
This bun ain't done.
That's it. And that was it. I was hospitalised
bounds, yeah.
and I couldn't move. I wasn't allowed to do anything
For how long?
till I had her. So I went
23
into
weeks.
labour at 23 weeks and 4 days.
Yeah, I'm not good on this stuff, but I'm pretty sure. What's it meant to be? What's a normal?
40 weeks.
I thought it was 40.
Yeah,
23?
and 4 days. Yeah. So
It was 600 grams or something.
592 grams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
She was
I've
tiny.
had blocks of chocolate bigger than that.
So you put your two hands together and that was her from head to toe.
Yeah, she was sort of,
No.
that sort of big, just
Yeah.
tiny.
Just tiny.
You know how right from the start of this, we haven't fully gone into all the detail. Like we've teased a lot of things in that. I love that we know that she turns 26 on Friday
Yeah.
because everything you're saying right now feels like it's about to be a horrible twist in the story. But it's like,
No.
this one,
No.
this one works
one's
out
good.
okay.
Yeah.
Is she healthy?
She's so
She's
healthy.
very good.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she's
We were told otherwise.
intelligent.
We were told, blindness,
Yeah.
mental.
Yeah, problems.
But again, she wanted to be here early.
Oh, yeah.
And she's wanted to be here ever since.
Yeah.
So she's
She's a
just
fighter.
proved them all wrong.
All wrong.
Is she always early to things? Like still?
She's on time all the time.
She's on time, yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't like to
She's-
be late,
Doesn't
no.
like to be late. Yeah. And she's
Very
positive.
strong, very determined.
Yeah, very. You look at her, and the only thing that would give her away, she's 5 nothing. That's it.
Really?
She's tiny. That's it.
Do you know, have you looked into what's the earliest someone's had a baby in their, I can't think
You
of the
mean
right term.
gestational period?
That's exactly what I was going to say, but I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be wrong. 'cause
No.
I had gestational period in my
Yeah.
life.
The earliest I've ever heard of
Yeah.
was 22 weeks.
And what were you, 26?
23.
23.
In 4 days.
And 4 days, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and
Like,
at
have
the
you
t-
looked it up or that's
Yeah,
just
no,
what
no,
you've
I looked
heard
it.
of?
No, I looked it up because at the time I was
I think
at
at the time she was one of the youngest.
She
wasn't
was the youngest at the
Yeah.
hospital because we had her at
Westmead.
Westmead,
Wow.
and they were unbelievable. They were phenomenal.
She was born in August 1st,
1st of August,
and we didn't get her home till the week before
December.
Christmas.
Yeah,
Oh, right. And she had to continue cooking
yeah.
in
She
there.
was in the incubator for a little while.
In the fake oven,
Yeah,
yeah.
and in the humi crib, and basically, then she goes from intensive care 1, 2, 3, and then they go to special care, and then she's got to learn everything outside the womb. So she didn't know how to suck and feed. She didn't know how to hand movements, all her coordination.
We didn't hear her cry until she was,
at least 8 weeks.
yeah, because she had a tube down the throat. So,
And we knew she was in pain
see
and
her
fear. Her
crying.
face was crying.
but you couldn't
You couldn't
we didn't
hear
hear
her.
her.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But
There's some tough times there.
yeah, it was.
I know the rest of what's coming in your story, and that's enough. What's in the rest of the story?
Oh, I love it.
You've gone
Yeah.
through this as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but what breaks you makes you. So to me, I believe going through all of that and her being sick
Nikki
and
was
her
incredible.
fighting,
She was there every day.
I just wanted to love
Every
my
day.
baby. And any mother and any father would do exactly that for their children. I don't, doubt that at all.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
you were there every day.
Yeah, I just I had to believe at the time I was going to walk away with my baby in my arms, and that's what kept me going. And I would sit with her, and I would tell the nurses the more contact I have with her through the humidity crib, because everything was closed down. They got the oxygen going in there, and she had a main arterial line in her arm, and you could see through her chest. Her heart was pounding.
Very
Her
thin
ears
skin,
hadn't
yeah.
even popped because they were still stuck to her head. And we laugh about it now, but her bottom and her front area was all one because there was no
no
progression of
cheeks as
growth. There was nothing. So it was incredible. And I said to them, you need me to touch, I need to touch her as much as I can so she can
Let her
feel
know.
my touch and know that mum's here today, every day. And I would stay for her cares, and then I would, rush off and grab a coffee or,
As soon as Nikki was allowed to do stuff with her,
yeah.
she got it in there. And
Well,
did it.
you've heard
So,
those Heather episodes. That's
Yep.
that is
Hands
so
on.
important.
It's so important.
And as much as they're not necessarily forming the thoughts about, that's
Yeah.
mum and blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
the neural pathways
Yes.
are connecting, and
Yes, that's right. It's the touch, it's the smell, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's really
it's the,
important.
okay, I am safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because she wasn't in my womb, I would talk to her. So she could hear my voice still, she was in my womb, and I was touching her and doing her cares and putting a little blankie over and whatever I needed to do. I just wanted my baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was never any conversation around her. My biggest rule in my family was, if you're going to have a conversation at all, it's not to be around Ariane. You go outside and you
If
talk.
it's not positive, yeah.
And
Right.
no positive. If it's not positive at all, or you go
Get
in
out
and you
sort of
say
thing.
basically, look at her, she's doing well and so forth, and you can see her, but everything else happens out the front. So don't come inside and have any negative no negative, none. Because I didn't want that. I believed in positive. She's getting better. She's growing.
Yeah.
I'm having my baby come home.
Did you know at the time that you were doing this? Because it's been just in the last year of talking to Heather, I've learned so much about this whole neural pathways being formed, and you can change them as you go on in life, but it takes work. But your core being is established in the first 4 years, and your beliefs and how safe you feel and all of these things. Did you know what you were doing then?
No, I had no idea. I just knew what loss was, and I knew what gain I would get by making sure this beautiful daughter I have in front of me was going to feel all the love that lives in my heart for her. That's it. I still, to this day, I'll grab her and I'll kiss and hug her and I say, oh, God, I love you. Like, I could squeeze the love out of you and from my heart into you. She goes, you're crazy, Mum. I said, one day you'll feel the same love and you'll understand. And it's still like that. It's still, we laugh, we talk, but we're super close.
And she knows all these stories.
Yeah. She lived it.
Yeah.
She knows her story.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, so that's great. Let's end the story there.
Yeah.
Everything, and they all lived happily ever after. Have you been to Gwendolyn Bowling Club? They're right there on the shores of Lake Macquarie. They do delicious meals upstairs in the Foreshore Bistro and Cafe, which is run by the Dish Catering Group, so you know it's good stuff. And you can dine out on the balcony looking out over the lake. It is beautiful. They got the cute little Foreshore kiosk for a coffee and snacks right by the jetty. The entertainment's top notch. They got Friday night seafood raffles and Sunday sessions with live music in the beer garden. You want to find out what's happening at the club? Check out their Facebook page or visit gwendolynbowlingclub.com.au.
King Cup and Mitre Chan have been big supporters of the Pod Dan podcast right from the start, and you get all the stuff from them that you'd expect to. You get plants, you get all the Weber stuff, you get all the still gear, the amazing Principal kitchens, but it's the stuff that you don't expect, like
We had a customer come in with 46,000 colour sample swatches. She's picking colour for her kitchen cupboards. I dwindled it down to 4 colours for her, and that took about an hour and a half. She got very emotional because she was so inundated with colours. Towards the end, she was kind of picking up the colours again. I said, no, stop. I've seen photos, seen videos. Her husband's come in and gave me a big hug saying thank you so much because she's getting very emotional about it, and she's super happy.
that's what you get from the mighty helpful King Cup and Mitre Chan.
It's the Pod Dan Podcast with Rabbit.
6 months after I had Ariane, I actually had found out I was not feeling very well after I had got her home, and I was very tired and very lethargic, just feeling very off all the time and just not right. So I went and saw my doctor, who I'd already seen my oncologist in the past, and I said to him, I need an appointment, run the bloods, let's check things out. And lo and behold, they found cancer. And I just knew it was back. Yeah. So
I've spoken to others on the podcast. There's a young girl, Molly Croft from Dubbo, she was, and from a young age with cancer, and she knows that with hers, it'll be back.
Yeah.
She knows that.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
I can't imagine living like that.
Well, you just got to
Knowing
live
that-
every day to the fullest, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, you don't. But that can be with anyone. Who says that cancer's going to take you? Who
Yeah.
says you can't get hit by a bus tomorrow? Who says you can't say goodbye to your family in the morning and then never see them again? So you can't live like that. I'm not a believer that a specific disease will
doesn't
take
define
you.
you
It
as
does not
such.
define you at all.
Yeah.
No way. So, I was sick. I found out again, had big surgery, went through chemotherapy, did the whole lot with a baby. And
Yeah.
John was there again, once again, bless him. And he was like signed up for the contract of here we go.
What were you doing work-wise at the time?
I was
IT.
IT. Yeah.
IT,
Yeah.
and you were hairdressing?
Yeah.
You said in the interview that I saw that no one knew
No,
through that whole time that you were working.
no, I'm very, very discreet
Family,
with my
obviously,
life.
but,
Family, of course, and
but no-
friends.
no clients,
No. I had a handful of people. I'm a little bit of a keep everything in a box type of person. And I don't believe that everybody needs to know your story to basically, just know your business. Because because that's people want to know your business. Full stop. And in the hairdressing industry, damn, do we hear some good stories?
Yes.
I've told her she needs to write a book, Memoirs of a Hairdresser.
Yeah, yeah. But,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Got some good stories.
Did you hear the hairdresser episode that I did?
No.
I had a hairdresser in, and one of the stories she told was a lady came in and was going to pay her good money to ruin someone else's hair.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Like the two friends that had a falling
Yeah, they had a
out,
fallout. Yeah.
and I want you to destroy her hair,
Yeah.
and I'll pay you.
Yeah. Forget it.
I was
Oh my God.
How much was it? And she goes, not enough.
No.
No.
I mean, to end the salon, to
Yeah,
end
your business.
She's been in there for 20-something years,
Yeah.
over 20 years
Yeah,
since she
yeah.
opened it.
Yeah, yeah.
At this point, how old are you there? You're mid-20s?
So I'm
7,
26, 27.
Yeah.
And, with Ariane home and, just getting through it and then, having the surgeries, going through chemotherapy. My mum and my husband and my family supported us a lot. I went through that and then it was good, all great, wonderful. Never disappeared. I always had cell activity, slight, high dose, knock it over, get rid of it, and then it would flare up again, and it just never disappeared. And that's the problem, that when you have these diseases, or this disease as such, the one I have of the cancer, it doesn't disappear.
Does it have a name, your one?
I never ever. I don't remember it, to be honest.
So one thing
it's
you
not
shut
one
out,
thing.
yeah.
I try and block it out because
Yeah.
again, this sounds ridiculous. I don't want to accept it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be labelled. So I would just say to them, I don't want to know
But I guess
what it is, how
It's
it
different
is.
people. If it were me, I would research the living days out of it.
Where I'm a person that would dwell on it and worry about it, and then I would get too involved in what it can do, and I don't want to live like that. I want to
Yeah.
live positive and keep going.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than dwell on it, I can't do anything about it. I'm moving on and I'm living.
Yeah.
So then everything was good.
I think,
We lived.
again, that's what kind of kept her alive at that point because
Yeah.
she just work, family.
Focus.
That was it.
Yeah.
So you're going off and having chemotherapy
Yeah.
by yourself as well.
I believe that, yeah, big time. I don't like, again, the focus on me. I don't like it. I've always been that way. Always.
Well, we're doing the whole podcast on it, so sorry.
Well,
But-
again, part of this journey is, and again, why we
It's a learning
approached you
curve
and
now.
approached the other guy is we need to share this story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
And that's something I've learnt to do for others. It's okay to be vulnerable to.
If we can
Yeah.
help others. That's
100%. That's what I've found through this podcast.
Yeah.
Is I have had people directly contact me.
Yeah.
One only a couple of weeks ago who finally, after over a year, went to see the doctor. I've been in a horrible mental health state
Yeah.
for all this time. Every
Yeah.
time would hear one of those episodes and go, oh, that's me. I need to go and see someone. Has done it, is now on some
Medication.
and
Yes.
stuff. And I just thought last night, I need to check in, see how he's going on.
And, just if you can touch somebody,
Yeah.
you've helped somebody in
Yeah.
the day. And the thing that I'm so grateful for is life and my family and being who I am today and happy with myself. Like it's a hard thing to explain, but to go through heartache and depression, because I did suffer depression 2 years ago, but I'll get to that. I did suffer a terrible, terrible breakdown. And it was the journey I had gone through that you're like listening to right now. And then, because I was in my 30s, I had the surgery, got through chemo, Ariane's growing, Jon and I getting through life, I've got the business, and everything's hunky-dory. That's just
And
how
they
it
all
is.
lived happily ever after.
Exactly. And that's basically how we knew life, though. The week before my 40th birthday, same symptoms are coming around, and this time it was really bad. And I thought, this is not normal now. This is really not feeling good. And then
Had some bleeding and
I had,
stuff like that.
and it showed a sign big time. I was at work and I thought, and I had a massive bleed, and I'm like, no, this is not normal. This is not normal. And I was feeling very nauseous. And again, they rushed me into hospital and they found out I had ovarian cancer. It had taken off. So I had a hysterectomy. They took my ovary. It had travelled into my uterus, had gone into my bladder by this stage. So I had a partial bladder removal. All of that section was gone. I came out of surgery, went through chemotherapy. It was stage 3. So it was aggressive, and it was this was it. This was it. I had to come to terms now in my head.
Did you really?
Yeah, but that by that time, I thought every time you've reached your little head, you're coming back stronger and stronger. And, again, I'll mention I was eating greens and healthy and salads, and I would go to the gym and I would work out and I would push myself to breaking, where I'd come home and collapse, but I knew that day I'd gone for my walk and I'd worked, and I'd come home and I'll do something on the treadmill, or I was like you, I was a Commando Steve girl.
I saw that in your interview when you said you did.
I did 2 boot camps with Steve.
I made note of that. I was like,
I did.
I did the Get Commando Fit thing.
I did.
You know? When did you know that I did it?
I was listening
on air?
to you on air.
Oh, right.
And I was like, go Rabbit.
And you'd done that by then.
Yeah.
You'd already done that.
Yeah, I'd already been.
That was I was 43, I think, when I was in the absolute best shape I'd been in my life, and I felt amazing. Following that program.
Wow.
12 weeks of
challenge.
that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I went to his boot camp for 4 days.
Cool.
So you're literally doing every single thing that Steve wants you to do.
Yeah.
And when I got better, in between, the 30 mark and the 40 mark of having the 2 cancers and the surgery and so forth, I said to Jon, I'm setting challenges, I'm setting goals, we're going, we're living. And he's like, okay. And in that 1 year, I did Tough Mudder in November. January, I did the Overland Track in Tasmania. And then I went in March and did Steve's. And I was just all in 6 months.
Yeah.
Following year, I went and gone back. I'm going to go do it again. He's like, are you crazy? You came home broken. I said, nah, let's do it again.
It's funny when you're into it.
Yeah. But I went to the gym and 5-6 days a week, I was eating salads and my meat and my vegetables, everything, fruit, nuts, no carbs, no sugar, stayed away, because sugar and carbohydrates feed cancer. It's just a proven fact. The higher...
Is it?
Yeah. The more sugar you consume and the more carbohydrates you feed your body, it's basically like putting fuel on the fire, and off it went.
So is that why you were doing...
as clean as I could, and as keeping your heart
Back
rate
then?
up.
You were? Yeah.
All the
right.
time. I've always been shapely, and I've never been a skinny girl. But I was never like really huge.
No.
But I still ate healthy. And I thought I was doing everything good. Yeah, what we thought we were doing was right. And I had researched, because with chemotherapy, you got all this poison going into your body, and they're giving you other substances to keep your body going. And you have and I suffered really bad iron problems. So I would pass out at the drop of a hat with low blood pressure, and I was having iron infusions. I was having the works. Like, give me a cocktail, baby, and I just drank it. And that's how it was.
Yeah.
But I thought, I've got to keep my body as clean as I could. So I did. And I would eat and do and exercise and do everything they said. And it still came back, more aggressive than ever. So by that time, I just said to Jon, all right, we're doing it. Big surgery, chemotherapy, but if it doesn't work, I'm out. I'm done. I can't keep living life
and
like
during
this.
this process, obviously, the chemo's damaging the rest of the body. So she had kidney issues, she had liver issues, all that sort of stuff as well. So at one point, they had to take her off chemo.
Yeah, to let my kidneys recoup.
We're going to go into failure. So it was like, well, you've got to come off chemo, which means the cancer
it was going to escalate again. And this happened over a period of time. So I'd had my surgery. They got it all out. That was the first one. 10 weeks later, I ended up back in surgery because it had still spread and they didn't realise. And then I went back in and they took that out and got rid of it. Back through chemo. And that happened over probably 5-6 years. And then it disappeared. It was all gone. Success. Great, done it. And then it was good. Great, living life. Got a phone call when I had my bloods checked, because you have to go in for regular checkups, and they found a secondary. And it was nowhere down that area of my uterine area. So I had it on my spine.
They can tell this from the blood.
Scan.
Oh, okay. So
you've got activity.
The blood triggered the scan.
Blood shows that there's something going on in the body. It's not right, or your levels are out.
Right.
And then basically you have a scan done and it verifies everything. Yeah.
And it was in your spine.
One was on my spine and one was behind the right side of my eye. And inoperable.
Just because of the location. Too risky to go in. Behind
my right eye and on my spine. And I thought, okay, we're spreading now. We're leaving the traditional area of where you've always been, and now we're moving on. And that's the big conversation. I said to Jon, I'm not going through chemo. I can't do all this. I can't keep living my life like this. It's not worth it. Like, there's
How
no
did
quality.
you take that?
Because I'd seen her go through everything, I accepted that
Far
as her
out.
decision.
Is that right?
Yeah, because, as I said, she hid it well from everyone else, but obviously living with her, being with her, I saw the worst of it, and it's not nice. It's not nice. And
No.
to see the person you love the most in the world go through that, it's I said it's your decision ultimately, because it is your body, it's your life. I can't make you keep going through that. So wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just said to him, like, I love you.
I sort of said, I'd rather
More.
have, sort of the cliche thing, I'd rather have 6 good months with
Quality.
you than have you for 5 years in agony and
Yeah.
sick and, on the toilet all the time. And
Vomiting.
So I
and
said,
yeah,
no,
some
that's-
days, like, I couldn't get out of bed.
When they say inoperable, the spine one and the eye one, through the chemo and that, can it go away though?
Yeah, I had chemo.
that was the
I
sort of
did.
plan of attack, was
Yeah.
to hit it with the chemo to
Yeah.
shrink
Do
it.
Shrink
chemo,
it.
but if it
Yeah.
doesn't work,
I'm out.
yeah.
I gave them a
not going
certain
to keep
time.
doing that.
Yeah,
Right.
and then I'm out. I am out. I'm really out though. And I spoke to my doctor and I said, I'm out. After this round, I'm out. And this was like another 2 years in. So here I was now at like, no, it's actually probably later than what I first initially thought, because they start to blend. This is the problem. But I was closer to 50.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not going into the second phase of my life in my 50s and having to still live like this. And everybody else doesn't know what it's like to live like this. And I do a good front. I do. Like, I used to have the super shortest hair ever, white blonde. I would like really short, shave it, do everything to prevent people from making me look like I had cancer. And
Is that your actual hair?
it's my hair
Yeah.
now. And this is why I...
How long is it?
Yeah, and I have let it go because it's been two years of no more treatment. See? So I just went, I'm growing my hair. I'm going to look like a girl. I'm not going to have shaved heads and short hairstyles anymore. I want
Yeah.
long hair, and I want to look like a girl. And
She always did look like a girl.
Well, yeah, I don't. I'm not going to say
from the
it, but-
hairdresser's perspective. And so that was it. And then by the time we decided that was it, done, we went up and we saw Jon's auntie and uncle in Queensland. And we were up there for 4 days, and we knew that they had had a change of lifestyle. And I saw them, and Jon did, and we both stood there literally and went, oh my God, they
looked fantastic.
Like
Glowing.
the best they've ever looked.
Yeah, and how old are they?
Late 50s, early 60s
No.
at that time? No.
They're older than that.
Yeah, sorry, late 60s.
Late 60s.
Late 60s.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And they looked amazing though. They were glowing and they were colour in their cheeks and they looked incredible from head to toe. And they just had a glow about them that was health. And they were happier and they were off medication and antidepressants and all these things. And it was really, really beautiful to watch. Anyway, we listened to what they had to say over the 4 days, and literally they had decided to go carnivore. Our Auntie
And they've
D,
been doing it for 6 months. My uncle had been doing it for 9 months.
What was interesting about the interview that I watched, you never really talked about what the carnivore
Way
diet
was.
because that whole channel is
Yeah,
about
correct.
that. So you don't need to
Yeah.
go into that then.
yeah, exactly.
So
But a lot of people are only just starting to hear about carnivore, and they're starting to research carnivore. So most people go, what is it? And I say the best thing you can do is actually follow, Dr. Ken Berry or, Dave Mack like we did, and Sean Baker. And there's people out there that are doctors and they're carnivore. And the research that's gone into it and the amount of information that is out there, honestly, it's hard to ignore.
wait, I feel like we've jumped forward a bit because you're up there in Queensland
Yeah.
and you did that for the 4 days.
Yes. And we were watching these people while we were with them. They introduced us
I
to
see.
them
So-
on like,
Feels
They
very
said
cultish.
you've got to watch this.
yes,
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
very. To the point where you
Nothing wrong
sort
with a
of
good
go.
cult.
But the thing
Are
is,
they good cults?
but the thing is, you thought, here we go, it's another fad.
Look,
Yeah.
another way of phrasing it is it's very low carb or no carb.
My question, and this is purely for me, I've done keto a bunch of times and I know it's good for me. And I feel incredible when I'm on keto. It's so restrictive. Found the thing with keto is I could go weeks perfect. And I'm doing the pinpricks on the finger and reading my blood
sugar
glucose and that. Is it blood glucose?
Blood
Ketones.
glucose. Yeah,
Measuring my
ketones as well.
ketones.
Yeah.
All it would take is something that I would eat and it would kick me out of ketosis. And then it can take days to get back into it.
Yeah, nearly a week. Really.
Yeah, and then you get the keto flu and all that, and you feel gross. And I know that once I get into it, I'm good, but then I'm kind of okay. I saw you in the interview, John, you said that you're very, all right, doing this. I am 100% doing this, and that's what I would do with that as well.
Yeah.
I guess but I was on, and I'd go great, and I'd drop a bunch of weight, and the inflammation and things. You know, instead of going up the stairs and my knees creaking and being sore.
Yeah.
Man, a couple of weeks into that, and I'm like, I feel fantastic. The brain fog, like just so clear.
Oh, so clear.
In your thoughts. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it kind of was just the next level from keto.
It is. It's just that next step up.
Yeah, in which way? Like, how's it different? So for those who don't know, so for keto, it's pretty much restricting all sugars. And that's carbs.
No carbs, no sugar, really.
No carbs, no sugar.
It's very low.
Yeah,
carb.
you have like a few strawberries and you're over.
Yeah.
Which that was one of the biggest things that I struggled with, is because I love fruit.
Yeah. I was the
having fruit.
same.
It's a real rabbit hole once you start looking at it, but fructose fruit is one of the worst things you can have.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So last night, sitting down on the couch, and then on the way here, I was thinking, these two are going to wreck my Saturday night. Because I've been working so hard lately that I've been looking forward
You're going to reward
Saturday
yourself.
night.
Some chips and chocolate.
Yeah.
I'm having a movie session with a Kelpie in my lap.
And you're going to look at the chocolate
live my
to put
best
in
life.
your mouth and you'll go, John and Nicole, damn.
Now I'm going to block you guys out. If I don't pay any attention to it, it doesn't exist. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
And then Sunday morning, I'm not a drinker, but I presume it's like when you have the
It's a
hangover
hangover.
and you just go, why am I like this? I'm such an idiot.
Yeah.
And then I'll do it again.
The difference I feel, because I was paleo, I was keto, I'd done all of them.
Yeah.
All of them just to get my health back in check. John was a person that he would just eat, bless him, whatever I cooked. He was very, that's just, Nick's cooked dinner, I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
He was never really I want this, I want to do that, I want to do that. He always knew I was like, try and keep the carbs down, try and keep the sugars down, and that's just how it was. Yeah, we had blowouts, of course. We were called normal, and that's where people do eat chocolate, and people, have a Saturday night chocolate fest with chips and their dog and whatever they want to do, and that's called Saturday night. And most people hit the drink, and they'll have a great night. But when you know how the poisons of the sugar and the alcohol and the carbohydrates and all of these things you're consuming.
Processed food.
Oh,
That's the big one.
big one.
See,
massive.
What it sounds like we're talking about at the moment is weight loss. And that's a part of it.
Yeah, but it's not the key element.
It's so much beyond that. I'll point out, what did you down about 15 kilos?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Which is super impressive.
Yeah.
And then Nick says
No.
but
Yeah, but I had, don't forget,
36?
36.2. But the thing is, I had a lot of inflammation and a lot of that toxicity in my body.
Yeah.
So my body had sort of swelled to a degree of holding on to all this toxicity. So
It's also kind of different. It's not just the weight loss.
No.
It's a body composition changes as well.
The whole body changes though.
Like, I don't go to the gym. Yes, I'm a carpenter by trade, but
No.
I was doing that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was still puffy, inflamed.
Yeah.
Now it looks like I go to the gym.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's flat tummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like,
Yeah.
if I went to the gym, it'd be great.
I was just about to say, but again, it just is a way of life and you don't need to. And the thing is, I went to the gym and I was training and I was doing everything.
Yeah,
and guess what?
Yeah.
Nothing.
You came back from that trip to
Yeah.
Queensland
Yeah.
and went, let's keep doing it. Did you feel good after the 4 days?
No.
Nikki did.
No.
The thing is, when you do keto or carnivore, Like it is a detox, especially if you do the carnivore, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the community of the carnivores, they basically say if you can do 30 days, great, but preferably do 90 days
Mm-hmm.
and stick to it. It resets your body completely.
Completely, though.
So because of everything Nikki's been through for so long, obviously her body's full of toxins.
Yeah.
So she had what they call oxalate dumping, all that sort of stuff. So she didn't have a pleasant time for the first few weeks.
No.
Wait, how soon? When was the previous round of chemo in relation to the trip to Queensland?
For
Yeah,
your
it's on my
birthday.
birthday, yeah.
And it would have been probably a year before.
And you're still carrying all of that in your body?
It takes a long time for your body to rid toxicity.
But you came back from Queensland and decided
'Cause-
to carry on?
Yes. Because I decided I had my treatment and I'm like, you know what? I can't keep living like that. I'm out. And then when we went and then we heard about how a life-changing way of eating could benefit, my thought was, I want nothing to lose. I've just finished all of this rubbish I've put into my system through the medical profession, listened to the professionals. And I have, and I'm very respectful of them. And I did everything they asked of me. But I'm still got this outcome of not getting any better. And I knew that. It was not going down. It had gone up. And I went, I'm out. I'm done. So that's where when we went and we were talking with Kurt and Dee, and I just said to John, we've got nothing to lose. Let's just change
They
and
had some minor
do
health
it.
issues which
Yeah.
had resolved.
Yeah, resolved.
My uncle had gout, colitis,
And he suffered terrible depression.
and depression as well.
Really bad.
Both of them depression.
Yeah.
Auntie
and
has
neuralgia.
which hasn't gone but is
Better.
more bearable.
Yeah.
And then, we watched a couple of the videos. They said you got to watch these, so we watched them from
Yeah.
the YouTubers. And
a big one for me was I thought I'm going to do the 4 days with them, be respectful of it. I want to give it a go, come back. And I was still oxalating and feeling rubbish. I had the flu. I was feeling achy. I was in the bathroom like 20 times a day. Seriously. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But I went, well, there must be a lot in my system to get rid of. And John didn't suffer like that. He didn't go through all of that.
Yeah.
And so I knew it was telling us something. It was telling us, okay, he ate like I ate, but he didn't have everything else go into his system. I did. So that's why I was feeling these repercussions a lot longer and I could see what was happening. Within 3 months, I started to really feel good. And in that time period, I had suffered a terrible breakdown as well. That's when my life had changed completely in the August, and I had a massive breakdown. I couldn't do it anymore. This was it. And that's when I stopped treatment. So it was August.
we've skipped
and then
something.
we've
I'm
gone.
sorry.
No,
That's
it's
okay.
fine.
Before the
But before the
Queensland
Queensland
trip.
trip, I had retired out of hairdressing in the August, and I had suffered a terrible breakdown because I knew I wasn't getting any better as well. I had some business issues that went south, and I basically had enough. And I was like, I'm out. I'm out
kind of a
of.
breaking point, wasn't it? And
I couldn't do everything and anything anymore. That's the truth. I felt
into a
like I
very
had
dark
just
place.
very, and I deflated. I went to a place that you shouldn't go to. Yeah. And I was on depressants and I was seeing like my psychologist and I was, needing help desperately.
I
was
think I
not-
listened to one of your other podcasts and it was the same sort of thing. I think the guy was the one that was depressed, but he said it was his wife that saved him.
Yeah.
She came home.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. I came home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just different time
That
of
was
the day.
Billy Mack, the
Yeah.
firefighter.
I
Yeah.
listened to that the other day.
John
and
came home.
Very similar story. I came home and
And he stopped me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just
Wow.
couldn't see the light anymore. And,
And-
I
and like he
felt
said-
really comfortable where I was in this dark place.
it's the same thing. Like, you'll be better off without me.
Yeah.
It'll be easier for you
Yeah.
if I'm not here.
That's a really common one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I felt comfortable with the decision, which was quite scary
That's the
to
scary
me.
part. Yeah.
Well, Julie talked about that in her book, the second half of it. Good. I was wondering if you'd get that. She. Right in the middle of such a serious topic. That thing of, when she walked away from the stadium and
Yep.
was,
Yeah.
And something literally snapped.
she just went, everyone else will be better off
Yep.
without me here.
Yeah. And that's exactly right. That's where I went.
And if you haven't been there, that's very hard thing to understand.
You can't understand it, yeah.
But I was comfortable with it.
Mm.
And I had thought, I've been through cancer. I've had heartache with my children. I've loved. I've given. I am a good person. I cannot do everything and anything anymore because the only person that was suffering was me. I was never happy. I was always lost. I always felt like I was striving to get somewhere and I just couldn't get anywhere, or I got a glimpse of hope and it was taken away from me straight away. So it was this roller coaster. And I just said, I'm sick of riding the roller coaster. And they were my words. I'm out.
Yeah. And you sort of said, if I'm going to go the way I want to go, not the way it's going to take me sort of thing as well. So there was that kind of element to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's a bad place to be. And, you know, you go there, but you feel very
So
comfortable
that
with
was
that.
August. It wasn't until April that you went to.
Following April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the time like through there? Did you
It was
start
bad.
getting better? Oh, it was bad through all that time.
Yeah, I stayed at home a lot. I didn't leave the house. I basically would have my sessions with my psychiatrist. I was
Did a lot of
constantly. I did a lot of cooking and not the carnivore way.
A little baking of...
Yeah, and my daughter was always with me, or John was always with me. I was never alone. I was never allowed to be left alone.
That was by design. Yeah.
So and then I started to basically say, you know what, I've got to try and breathe. So I'd go outside to the garden for a little while. That was my place to go. And then I'd go back in the house, and
you
I
painted
never
the whole
ventured.
house at that point,
I
didn't
did
you?
paint the whole house. That was my therapy. And I felt very secure at home. I loved my home. I knew it was one place that nothing could hurt me. I was being hit left, right, and centre on the outside world, so I stayed home. I just wanted to be home.
Isn't it amazing how I say this all the time with people? You look at anybody, that guy's sitting in his car right there. You don't know what's going on in his life.
No.
And you don't know what has happened.
No.
You turning up here today and we've had some laughs and everything and just looking at you guys, you'd have no idea the whole story of you guys and where you were at that point.
Yeah.
And
so,
where you were at that point as well.
Yeah. Poor John.
I can't imagine, like, I'm the broken one with the mental health and that. I can't imagine what it would be like to be the partner.
Yeah. I'm with you,
So
Grab.
hard.
Like, how would it be for Sav? How is it for John?
Yeah.
And I look
Have you
at
asked
him.
her that at any point?
We don't talk much. No, not really. She has said that it's hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard
It is
to watch
for them.
and to not be able to fix it.
Yeah.
That would
That's
be my
more so from a man's point of
totally.
view. Yeah.
That would be my thing. That would be my thing with her. If it were the other way around, I would want to fix it. Whereas she hasn't tried to fix me.
Yeah.
No. But women don't want to fix. We're there to let you know we love and support you.
Yeah.
And we have your back.
Go back to that job thing.
It is.
Way back at the start there.
And that's exactly right. We see our...
And I've tried not to fix, because obviously it's not something I can fix. So I have tried to do the other thing, and that's just be there and support. So.
And it's very hard for John because I am a little bit more of a... I'm quite independent in our marriage still. So I did my treatment by myself. I drove myself to my own scans. I would not let him come near me. And the reason I did that, which I will stand by this day, that I did the right thing 100%, no matter what anybody else would think, is I kept my loved ones and my families away from the clinic and away from the cancer, society of walking into the hospital and seeing everybody. And we're all looking the same and we're all sick and we're all there for other reasons. But the people that come in to support them, they break down. They can't cope with it. They're not going through it. So it's the person that then is going through the cancer that then has to support their family.
I heard that happens a lot. Yeah.
And I went in by myself and I said to him, I love you more than you will ever know. And I said this to Ariane and I said, but I'm doing this journey by myself still. And they were like, but we're here. And I said, great. I'll see you when I get home because I need you more there. And I need you at home. And I need you to look at me as mum. And I need you to look at me as your wife, Nicky, your best friend of life. That's what we've always said. And that was how I left it. And it was great because if I could come home, I didn't feel like I had that. I had the cancer and I was going through this hardship and going to work. Like I would disappear. I'd be doing people's hair and I wouldn't feel good. And I would just, say to my staff, I'll be back in a minute. And I was gone for 20 minutes, half an hour, and I was in the bathroom. And I would pull myself together and I'd like, off we go again and just keep going. And the busier you kept your mind, the healthier I was. It didn't do me any good in the end when I did have my breakdown, because I then thought, I am empty of positivity. I'm empty of strength. So I crashed and I went. I didn't just, I went way down
we
there.
sort of briefly touched on being a hairdresser. It's very draining that way as well.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
The
That
stories
on
that
top.
you're
And you're
hearing. And
listening to
everyone's,
people.
Yeah. So, okay, well,
So
now
that's
we've got
why-
a good picture of where you were
Yeah.
at. Then you
Yeah.
went to Queensland,
Yeah.
and then you kept going on it
Yeah.
Yep.
for, what's that, over a year? There was
yeah.
April 4th?
April 4th, 2025. So it was a year exactly from the time we were in Queensland seeing our family on the 4-day journey of learning about carnivore, coming home and kept cleaning our bodies and sticking to the carnivore way and just being adamant. And then I was having my blood tests done and my doctor was astounded by the results. He couldn't believe it. Only 3 or 4 months after April, basically I had my bloods done. He was like, you've got to come in and you have a scan due. And I was like, okay. And he was like, there is a huge change. I've never seen it move like this, ever.
It's 40%, wasn't it?
Yeah.
40% reduction.
Reduction.
In
Both tumours
The tumour in the eye and the tumour
and
in
on
the
my spine. And I
in
was
4
feeling
months.
better about it. Like I was feeling not as tired.
So are you going in and getting? Are you going to get a scan or?
Yeah, I was due for my
bloods?
scan.
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah,
went
you
in for
have a
your
blood
scan.
test
Yeah.
done.
Always-
and you
always
have
bloods to keep a track
to
of the-
keep a track of my
Yeah.
iron and everything else that's going on in my body and my cholesterols and all of these things. And then I had my scan done and he was like, that was a huge change. And I was like, well, this is hope. This is great.
But you hadn't told him about
No,
what you
I
were
hadn't
doing.
told him. I wasn't going to tell
This was
him.
a year of.
No, this was like not even
4 months.
4 or 5 months after the April.
Oh, right.
So September of last year.
Right.
Yeah.
Was when you started getting those kind of results.
The good
Yeah.
results, yeah. So I was like, okay. And then I said to him, well, you're not going to be happy with what I've done. And he's like, okay, well, what are you doing? Because whatever you're doing, it's working. And I said to him, John and I and the family have gone carnivore. And he's like, what? You're doing what? And I said, we're doing carnivore. And he said, oh, it's a lot of red meat. And I said, there's no medical evidence out there that meat actually causes cancer. And he looked at me like, and I was telling my doctor this. And I said to him, you've seen the results? He said, yeah. I said, would you have known I was doing carnivore? He said, no. I said, do you think it was the medication? I'm not on medication. I'm done. So what's this telling you? It's my lifestyle. Things are changing. I'm cleaning my body out. And he was like, okay. We'll just see how it goes. He was a bit of a skeptic, of course. It went on again. And then basically it was coming up to the April of the year. And I said to him, like, how are we going? And he was like, okay, let's run your bloods again. Yeah, how are you feeling? I said, I'm feeling great. He goes, you've lost so much weight. You look alive. You're not yellow. You're not pale. Have you passed out in the last 6 months? I said, not once.
So you know, no iron infusions.
No iron infusions at all.
I'll just reference the beeping in case my audio processing doesn't take it out. We're aware it's beeping.
Thank you.
The pod van's about to lose power, and we're trying to wrap.
I knew it was coming. I knew it. See, this is the thing, right? This happened in episode 1.
I remember.
I'm nearly at episode 200.
Full circle.
And here we are.
I love it.
Still. All right, we're back. I'm not going to pretend that didn't happen. There's no way to. Episode 1 of this podcast, I ran out of power and Julie laughed at me. Now, I've come such a long way. The exact same thing just happened. We're in the middle of talking about it and the lights all went out and everything.
I love it. Okay.
Were we up to April 4th?
Yeah.
The 4th of April 2025. It was due to have like just another blood test done, and he wanted to run to see if there was really a significant change from the September of the following year, if it's still happening, if it was still coming down. So we did all the testing of what we needed to do, and then the next thing I heard him say, you need to come in now. I want to see you now. And I'm like, okay, is it bad? He goes, I'm not saying anything. I just want to see you. And
It's got to be face to face.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Didn't.
no,
So were you thinking it was bad?
no, I just thought go with your gut. Go with how you know your body. Go with knowing that you feel good. It can't be negative. It's got to be good. It's got to be good. So I went in and I was smiling and he was smiling and he came up and he actually hugged me and he was very emotional and he was starting to cry and he said, it's gone. It's gone. There's no sign. There's nothing.
No active cells.
There's no
nothing.
active cells. Gone. He said to me, I can see scar tissue there, like there was something there. He said, there's no cell activity. It's gone. And of course, like I welled up in tears of not believing what he said to me. And I was standing up and then I sat down and I said to him, just repeat yourself one more time because I've got to listen to exactly what you said. And he said, there is no cell activity in your body at all. It's gone. Now, I've never heard those words ever. So I was very happy, emotional, of course, but happy tears, happiness. And he was like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. He said, if I had not have known you from the time you were like a teenager and we've gone through our journey together, Nicole, and you've done all of this and you've done everything I've asked of you, and then you've done what you've needed to do and not told us and basically didn't listen to the medical profession at all, I wouldn't have known what you were doing. And he said, congratulations, you're in the clear. And
This has come from getting rid of all carbs,
all
all sugars.
So essentially what we eat is majority red meat, so
Yeah.
beef or lamb,
mince, pork,
yeah, mince,
yeah.
chicken, fish,
Cheese.
Prawns,
cheese if you want,
dairy,
eggs,
cheese,
Yep. Bit of
yogurt, Greek
yogurt.
yogurt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, any cheese you would like. Hard cheese, you
Yeah.
know, is good.
Essentially no plants,
No
no
plants.
fruit, like
No
no veg,
fruit.
no fruit.
No processed
no
foods.
vegetables.
None.
You said in that interview something around, because I know what you're talking about when you said this bit. When I was on keto,
Yes.
and I'd be feeling fantastic, and then I'd
Yeah.
eat something, and
Oh,
the
it made you sick.
inflammation
Pains come back.
Yeah, the everything,
Yeah.
the creaky knees, all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You said in there, had a bit of lettuce or something, and blah.
Yeah, yeah.
Vegetable.
And
Are vegetables?
Yeah. Being on the journey, we were eating the meat and doing everything we wanted to. And there was a point I said to John, I want to try if I could have a salad. And I made a small bowl, like lettuce and cucumber and like a few cherry tomatoes. And it tasted really metally and it didn't taste right to me. And I thought, no, I don't like it. And I ate maybe half. And I thought, no, because maybe I thought it's just my taste buds not being used to it. And the next day I woke up and I was aching in my joints, in my shoulders, and my knees were aching. And I actually felt sick. Like I felt like I was going to get the flu. And I said to John, I feel horrible. And he goes, it's the green stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And we've tested it on other things. Like we had some frozen yogurt when we were in Bali. Yeah, not good.
And
Upset
it's
belly.
because you have cleansed and detoxed your body,
Yeah.
gotten rid of the sugar.
Yeah.
When you do have something, your body's not at that toxicity level anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as soon as you have a little bit, your body just goes, well, what are you doing?
What? Like, this is bad.
Whereas we've trained our bodies to sort of accept it up until this point. You know what I mean? So you just go, oh, that's normal.
That's right.
You know,
And
I hurt here or
That's
whatever,
right.
but that's kind of normal. I'm
Yes.
getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
And
but it's not normal.
It's not normal.
It's not normal.
It's actually not. And processed food is deadly. It is absolutely so dangerous. If they could honestly write exactly what was on the back of that packet and not put it in number form, no one would touch it. No one would put it in their mouth. And sugar is 100 times more addictive than cocaine. Yet we let everybody in our households and our family eat it. So,
And it starts from the beginning. Like even your baby formula has sugar in it.
yeah.
So right from that get-go,
You should really be getting the kids on some steak.
Yeah.
Bit of Wagyu.
chewing on the lamb
Yeah,
chop.
lamb chops. Huh? Yeah, chicken legs.
And that's kind of, as we've gotten into it and we've lived this way now for 16 months,
Yeah.
people saying, what do I feed my baby? Well,
Yeah.
It is literally let them chew it on a bone.
Absolutely.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Don't blend up all the veggies and all that sort of
No.
stuff.
No, don't
Just give them
puree
a
your
bit of meat to chew on.
Yeah.
It's
Where were
amazing.
you guys back in the day to tell my mum I didn't have to eat my veggies?
I know, but that's
They're
the thing.
bad for me.
That's
And that's
right.
the thing.
That's the
As a
thing.
young child, your taste buds are telling you,
Yes.
It's a bad thing.
How many times you see your child
you wait
spit
till I
out the
tell Mum.
broccoli and they go like, yuck, that tastes yucky. And what's the first thing they'll do? They'll go and pick up the meat, or they'll pick up the chicken leg. They'll gnaw on the bone. That's what they want. But we gave them the broccoli, the
We made them
pureed
eat the Brussels
veggies.
sprouts, all that sort of stuff,
and
yeah.
you know what?
Why are the veggies bad?
Well,
It's,
Again-
As soon as I said that and I saw your faces, I thought, okay.
it's another chapter that
Yeah.
you need to look into.
That's what I was going to say.
But-
If you're interested in this, you
Yeah.
go do your own research
Absolutely.
and look into it. I mean, you're not here to preach to anybody
I'm
or
not,
anything. It's
no.
really just telling your story.
No, we aren't.
So that others could look into it
Absolutely.
if they want to.
That's exactly right.
one of the simplest ways one of the doctors puts it is animals have claws and teeth to defend themselves. Plants don't. They have toxins. Every plant has toxins in it because it wants to stop things eating it.
Dr. Shafee, he has his,
He's got a famous one if you want to
Famous.
Google it. Plants are trying to kill you.
yeah. It's just
Okay. It's a
very
YouTube video.
interesting.
Yeah.
And again, as we've said, we don't preach. We practice, but we don't preach. And, you know, we'll go into work and like a lot of the guys will say to us, what are you eating today? And we go, loin, beef, like chicken, some cheese. And they're like, oh, what are they? And I go, oh, I make bacon fingers now. And they go, bacon fingers? And I go, yeah, bacon. You wrap the cheese.
Bacon kind.
Yeah, and you put bacon.
That's the thing. Bacon's good.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you put parmesan cheese on it and you make it
Butter.
crunchy and
Lots of
butter.
butter.
Yeah.
Tallow.
Really.
See, I've been through a lot of this with doing the keto.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Keto's a very good way
Very
to do
good.
it as well. It's very low carb. Obviously, you got a bit of carbs from your veg and stuff, so that's
Yes.
fine. But as I said, in the community, a lot of people just say, if you can just do that clean carnivore for the 30 or 90 days,
Yes.
and then if you want to bring stuff back in,
Bring it back.
see what it does to your body.
Like
do
av-
you
Yeah.
get that pain back?
Like you get your avocados, they're a good fat. Eat your avocados.
Yeah.
Don't be
Yeah.
scared of them. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
seed oils and all that's a whole nother.
Yeah.
Don't. Yeah.
Seed oils. We'll come back to that one another. Anyway, look, I think a big
There's a
thing,
lot to it.
and my only hesitation in talking to you guys was that, no, that was before I watched the video of you guys talking, is that I thought it could be a preachy thing of,
Yeah.
you've got to do this. It's so
No.
amazing. Oh my God, it's beeping again. Let's wrap it up then. Guys, thank you so much for
Thanks
jumping
so
on.
Really
much,
appreciate the
Robert.
opportunity.
I've enjoyed the chat with you
Yeah,
guys.
it's been great. Thank you so
all we
much.
can say is we've done it. I've actually reversed type 2 diabetes as well. Nikki's cancer free. Give it a go.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose. What have you got to lose?
I'm going to start feeding the pod van steak.
Podcast with Robin.